Today I would like to discuss free money for college, scholarships, and where to find them. This is a part one of two series. In today's discussion, I'll be talking about what is a scholarship, what kinds of scholarships are available, what you should do before applying for scholarships, and where do you find the scholarships. What is a scholarship? There are thousands of different scholarships offered for college. A scholarship is a grant or payment made to support a student's education, awarded based upon academic or other achievement. They are offered by schools, employers, individuals, private companies, nonprofits, communities, religious groups, and professional and social organizations. What kind of scholarships are available? Some scholarships are merit-based, and you earn them by meeting or exceeding certain standards set by the scholarship giver. Merit scholarships might be awarded based upon academic achievement or a combination of academics and a special talent, trait, or interest. Some scholarships are based on financial need. There are many scholarships that are geared toward groups of people. For instance, there are scholarships for left-handed individuals. There are scholarships for single parents, military families, women, graduate students, etc. If you search, you will find it. What should you do before applying for scholarships? First thing I would do is create a new email account to use specifically for receiving emails in reference to scholarships. The reason that I would do this is because you're going to get a lot of emails from different programs or email companies or scholarship companies that you apply for. And you want to keep those scholarship emails from separate from your regular emails, so that way you don't miss anything. You don't want to miss a deadline. You don't want to miss any new scholarships that come up that you might be eligible for. Because once you enter all your criteria on these websites about your hobbies, your interests, your goals, your dreams, all the information that you might be eligible for getting a scholarship, they're going to start emailing you saying that you might be interested in this scholarship. You might be eligible for this scholarship. And you don't want to miss one of them because you never know. That might be the scholarship that you could have been awarded. So get a separate email account to use specifically for scholarship searches. Second, I would make sure that you are eligible for the scholarship. So if you go do your search and you find a scholarship, and you're like, oh, this one's for $10,000, I'm gonna go ahead and apply for it. If you read it and you don't meet the eligibility criteria for that scholarship, don't apply for it, because you're not going to get picked for that scholarship because you don't meet the criteria for it. So don't waste your time. Don't waste that company's time, because they're not going to give you that scholarship, because they want to give it to the person that meets the eligibility for that scholarship. Third, do research on the company giving the scholarship. If it's a large dollar scholarship, and you have to write an essay for it, or you have to do a presentation for it, or you have to go meet somebody in person, make sure you know something about that company. Know what their goals are, what their dreams are, what their mission statement is, and you know how you align with their goals. So that way when you do write the essay, you can talk in reference to what their goals are and put it into your essay. Because you want them to see that you not only are you interested in scholarship, but you actually took the time to get to know what their company is about. So that makes you more appealing when they start going through all the essays that they receive. Fourth, do not miss any deadlines. So if you see a scholarship out there and it says, oh, the deadline for the scholarship to apply for it is August 1st, and you don't apply by August 1st, there's no need to apply this year for that scholarship. You're not going to be considered for it, because they have those deadlines there for a reason, because that committee that decides who has to get the scholarship, who's going to get the scholarship, they already decide. They have to pick a date when they're going to decide who the finalists are and who they're going to give it to. And once you miss that deadline, they don't want to look at any more essays. They don't want to look at any more applications. Even though you might be the perfect person for that scholarship, if you miss the deadline, don't apply. You're not going to get the scholarship. Next, proofread everything. Before sending the application in or the essay in, read it. Read it over again. Make sure you don't have any spelling errors, no grammar errors. Make sure that if they say that they want an essay about drums and your essay is about violins, redo that essay. Make sure that whatever they're asking for in the application or the essay, you have it there. Because if you don't do what they're asking for in the essay, or if you didn't fill out the application right, that might disqualify you for being eligible for that scholarship. So you want to make sure you do everything correctly before submitting your application for that scholarship. And one of the last things I want to mention is make a list for doing your research for your scholarships. When you make a list, include all your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, any volunteer work you do, any sports you play, any of your planned majors. Like a lot of people are undecided. So if you think you want to be a nurse, you want to be a teacher, anything that interests you that you think you might be one of your majors, list them down. And then anything that is very unique about you, like you're left-handed, you're redheaded, you're a single mother, you're a student that has military parents, you were in the military. If there's something that's unique or a trait about you that's unique, write it down on your list. So when you start doing the searches for scholarships, you can search for all these things. Because believe it or not, there's a ton of scholarships out there for just for you being uniquely you. Like there's something might be unique about you that when you do the search, you'll find it. Like you might be a part of a club that you didn't think too many people were a part of, and that club might be offering a scholarship. So if you're a part of a club, your family's a part of a club, or like like an Elks Club or something like that, do a search for it, see if they're offering anything. And the next slide, I'll go into the websites for doing the searches. Where to find scholarships. On this page, I'm listing 3 of the websites that you can do searches on to find scholarships, and the application process for each. They'll explain on each of the searches when you find a scholarship. On the application itself, it'll explain what the criteria is, what the deadline is, and what is required of you. Some scholarships don't require you to do any essays, but keep in mind, because the ones without essays, a lot more people apply to those, so you're competing against a lot more people for those. And then usually the higher dollar ones, like 10,000, 20,000, those higher dollar scholarships, usually those do require an essay. So just keep that in mind when you're searching on these websites. Another thing that I would like to mention is when you're doing a search on these websites, they're going to ask you to sign up, subscribe to their blog or whatever on their webpage. And then that's what the information they're going to use based upon what you put in there to send you emails about different scholarships that you might be eligible for. Now, keep in mind, a couple of these companies are affiliated with other companies that do student loans. They do repayment options for student loans. They do student loan consolidation. They do a lot of other stuff other than scholarships. But you are only going to their website to search for scholarships. If they say, oh, sign up for this subscription for $20 a month, don't do that. Just go to their website, search for the scholarships. Now, in the future, after you graduate from college, like you need help with student loan repayment, deferments, student loan consolidation, you can actually get all the information that they're offering a subscription for free through the Department of Education's website, or you can even go to one of my videos that will explain some of those options to you. But don't pay for a service to tell you what your repayment options are, what your deferment options are. Don't sign up for those services. Your whole goal to going to these websites right now is just to find your scholarships. If later on, you decide that you want to do something with one of these companies, like maybe they have a student loan that you're interested in, and like a private loan because you don't have enough in financial aid or you weren't able to receive your scholarships, that's different. But if your only goal is to get a scholarship, sign up for their webpage. Let them send you those other emails. Don't look at those other emails unless you want to. But that's just one caveat I just wanted to mention, because they're going to try to solicit other stuff from you. But your goal is just to find your scholarships for college. Your goal is to save money, not spend money. And if any of the scholarships that you look at from any website, not just these three, any website out there, if they say you have to pay us $30, $25 for this fee for applying for the scholarship, I wouldn't apply to that scholarship, because the scholarship is supposed to be money for you. It's not supposed to be for you to give them money. So some of those are scams. So I am going to list on the last page a useful website to help you to avoid the scams. So right now, here's 3 of the websites that I thought, each of them had their good caveats. Like, they had good ways to search for the scholarships. Nothing wrong with any of them. So let them send you the emails. Like, do your searches on their websites. Do what you need to do to get your scholarships from them. On this page, I'm listing 2 other websites that I thought are very useful for scholarships. And the reason I listed these 2 websites separately is because they're a little bit different than the first 3 websites. The first 3 websites, they're good for finding scholarships. They have a lot of scholarships listed. But these 2 are different because the first one is geared towards high school students. While you're in high school, you can earn micro scholarships as early as 9th grade. And this is all based upon you doing good in school. So if you get an A, they give you a micro scholarship for just college. If you get a B, I don't know if they give anything for B's, but like if you get A's in certain classes, they give you micro scholarships. I've seen them out there for $500 or $1,000, and they have a lot of schools that are affiliated with them. Like, I saw over 300 schools out there, and they were good schools. Like, they weren't, like rinky-dink schools that nobody wants to go to. They had some good colleges listed. So check them out if you're in high school. And if you're not in high school and you had a younger brother or sister that is in high school, sign them up for this, because that could save them money in the long run. Because like, even though like it might be 500, 1,000, if you get 20 of those, that's a lot of money at the end that you're not having to take a student loan out on. And then the other website is through the U.S. Department of Labor, and it's their free scholarship search tool. And the reason I listed this one separately is because they're a little different than the first 3 websites I listed. And when you do a search on here, it's like you could search for anything for like scholarships out there, but you're not going to get those extra emails about solicitation for doing student loan, or you doing repayment program or student loan consolidation or anything like that, because it's through the Department of Labor, and they get, the government's paying for that, so they don't need to make that a little extra cash, from the solicitations or the ads that they get, having to be sent to you. So I like them just for the simple fact that you don't get any ads from them. And if you do get an ad from them, it's about, we found a scholarship for you. Lastly, I like to talk about a few things. First, apply now. Don't wait to apply for a scholarship, because a lot of them have filing deadlines. If you missed the deadline for a scholarship for this year, keep looking for other scholarships that you may be eligible for. Also, on those high dollar scholarships, if you missed one of them, make a note of it. Put it in your Google Calendar, put it somewhere in Excel. Keep it somewhere where you're going to be reminded, where you're going to get a reminder email stating when the deadline is, so you can apply for it next year if that company is still going to have that scholarship available. And there are a lot of companies that do the same scholarship year after year. They might change the criteria for what the essay is, or something, different, or the dollar amount might change, but some of them offer the same scholarships year after year. So if you miss a deadline this year, next year apply for that scholarship. Just do it on time. And don't give up searching for scholarships. There are thousands of them out there that are available. So if you don't meet the criteria for a scholarship, or you missed the deadline for a scholarship, keep searching. There's going to be a scholarship out there that you're eligible for. Just apply for it. Now, I was going to mention the low dollar scholarships, like the $500 scholarships, the $1,000 scholarships. There's years that a lot of those scholarships go unclaimed because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't want to write an essay, for 500 words for $500. You can't think of it that way. You have to think about it as that's $500 in tuition that you don't have to pay if you win that scholarship. And if there's not a lot of people applying for that scholarship, you could be the winner of that scholarship. So the more scholarships that you apply for, the better your chances are of winning a scholarship. So go out there and do your thing. Apply for as many scholarships as possible. And the one thing I would mention is if you write a good essay and you know that essay was great that you wrote for a scholarship, keep a copy of it. Maybe you could reword it a little bit for the next scholarship that you apply for, so you don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. If one of the scholarships asks you a bunch of questions, you're like, oh wow, this is a lot of questions. Keep track of what those questions were so you can already have the answers available for when you apply for the next scholarship. Think of tricks and ways to make it easier for you when you're applying for the scholarships. Lastly, don't fall for scams. If a scholarship says, oh, you can apply for the scholarship, but you have to send us $100, don't do that. That's a scam. Most likely it's a scam because the scholarship is free money for you, the student going to college. It's not free money for the company that's supposed to be giving out the money. So remember that. I'm going to put a link on the bottom, and there's a link listed below. It's the same link it's going to be that tells you a lot about scams and what to avoid. I just wanted to mention that because I don't want you to be taking the bank for a scholarship thinking that you're going to get this $10,000 scholarship and then you gave them $100. Don't do it. Just watch for the scams. Now, I hope that all of you found this information useful. I will be doing a part 2 series to the scholarship information. I just don't want to make the videos too long. So this is part 1 of the series. Thank you for watching. I hope you found the information useful. If you can like and subscribe to my page, I would appreciate it. And I wish you all a very blessed day. Thank you and have a good night.